friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466 6500.
Yeah, we got that.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Carifesta is the whole region looking good, and the whole road is rerun with. It's in the way we walk, it's the way we talk, it's the way we move. We ready for the world, and when we step out and pose just so, it's pure style and fashion. Look away! Come for Carifesta 15 in Barbados. Book your stay now at visitbarbados.org/Carifesta.
Two minutes past the hour. I want to say to you good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our viewers and listeners in whatever time zone you find yourself around the world. It's Monday, the 25th day of August, another beautiful day in our Twin Island paradise of St. Christopher and Nevis. And you're locked on, loaded for another presentation of Voices on winnfm 98.9 on your FM dial. My name is Sylvester Socrates Hodge. I've not been here for minutes, but it's everything in its own time and place. As you know, this program provides a platform for social discourse where the public may call in on whatever topic of the day it is, focusing on issues and not personalities. The one rule is that we keep it clean and try not to get personal. Before getting into one of the topics I wish to discuss, let me send some shout-outs to members of the fan base. Rosemary McDonald up there in New York City. Brenda O'Neill, I think is North Carolina. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. Amber Lewis over there in Anguilla. Chris Warner over there in Antigua. Beulah Elliott down in Newton Ground. Carl Brown, Gregory, Sister Sylvian Henry, and the many ardent supporters of this program. Welcome to another presentation of Voices. Now, Sandy Point and the Federation at large have lost an iconic centenarian with the passing of Miss Evangeline Riven, more affectionately known as Teacher Ann, who passed at the age of 104. An educator all of her life and very respected pillar of the Methodist Church and the wider community. We have lost a giant, I know Sandy Point is in mourning, and I dare say the whole federation, because when a person will have attained that age in life, still lucid, have all their faculties intact, and still making contribution, the respect she's had for throughout her life. Example, if she was to jump on omnibus coming from Sandy Point, and we know the quality of music those bus drivers play, they would automatically turn it down out of respect. So Teacher Anne has gone to the great beyond, and of course she would be sadly missed for the contribution she made to education throughout her life. Now, there's something I want to discuss, and I labeled it my JNF experience. My JNF experience. And why I say that? Because there are lots of issues, lots of discussions making the round throughout the Federation about the state of affairs at JNF. I'm going to speak specifically to my experience and not the things that may, of course, two things can be true at the same time. So I'm not making any attempts to discount what is in the public sphere about conditions up there. I'm going to speak specifically to my experience, and I hope the audience, the public, understands what I'm saying and appreciate it for what it is. I had occasion to be a guest of JNF, and I would say it was a self-inflicted, which got infected and needed to be treated. So I turned to the professionals at the hospital, and I sojourned there for a short period of time. During my stay there, I was impressed to no end with the attention, the level of professionalism displayed by the doctors, the nurses, the staff in general. Now, there were other persons involved with me, and the experience may have been general. I'm saying that I don't believe that I was treated with any special courtesy or deference. I was there as a patient just like anybody else. But given the reports about the hospital being understaffed, etc., I want to say for those folks who were working there, the dedication, the care, the attention they gave to their patients has to be commended. So if it's a case that you're working and you're understaffed, but you're showing up and you're giving that level of care, dedication, professionalism to the patients there, you have to be commended. So I want to thank all the doctors involved in my care. I want to thank all the nurses, the other staff, etc., those from the kitchen, everybody was there, the servers. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was really, really an eye-opening experience. I remain eternally grateful to you for that. Overwhelming as it may seem based on the various reports, I didn't question anybody. But like anybody else, I have 2 ears, I would have heard, but I was in a position to experience for myself the level of care and professionalism that was meted out to the folks who were there with me. So whatever the challenges may be, I am grateful for the dedication, the hard work, the commitment to their cause and the calling that was displayed by the staff, doctors, the nurses, and all the folks who makes a difference, especially the chaplain. I had quite a discussion with her. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and continue to do the best you can under the circumstances. Right? I may get calls with other persons who may have a different experience, That's okay. I'm just speaking for myself, and I remain eternally grateful. Okay? Now, the other topic I want to open to the public is what I refer to as a threat, a major threat, to what I call a zone of peace. We're talking about the Caribbean, which can be easily described as a zone of peace. We would have heard some reports about some incidents between Venezuela and Guyana. We've heard reports about fishing disputes, border disputes between Trinidad and Tobago. We've heard about the immigration crisis in Trinidad with the Venezuelans and all that. Still, it can easily be described as a zone of peace. What has happened over the past week is that the Trump administration has put a $50 million bounty on the head of the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, declaring him the head of a drug trafficking cartel, trafficking drugs to the United States. Okay? The closest point between Trinidad and Chaguaramas Peninsula and Venezuela is 11 kilometers, 7 miles. But the average distance between the two countries is 470 miles between. Okay? But from point to point, the closest point is roughly 70 miles. And that's where sometimes you have a dispute between the fishermen about boundaries, etc., etc. Right? The U.S. has dispatched a number of destroyers, nuclear-outfitted battleships, and a submarine with some 4,000 Marines to the coast of Venezuela. Under the pretext that is to deal with drug interdiction. You don't use the U.S. military for that. You have your DEA and those agencies for that. Now, food for thought. Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world, even bigger than that in Saudi Arabia. The largest oil reserve in the world, I had the figures, I have to find it, right? Over 30 million barrels of oil. I think that's a figure that they can produce. In 2022, Donald Trump was sort of saying that, imagine we're buying oil from Venezuela. If I was there, we could just take it. He made a similar remarks when he first came to power about going to Iraq and taking the oil. So he sent down his battleships to threaten 30 million people. He sent 4,000 Marines. And in reaction to that, the Maduro government has called up some, I think it's 12 million reserves. The military and the reserve, 12 million, vowing that they are going to defend their sovereignty. Well, of course, we're talking about Latin America. Cuba has jumped into the fray, and they've made their position clear that this is not legal, and basically they will be standing with Venezuela. We're talking about a zone of peace not being threatened and being drawn into what can be a serious war. Colombia, Latin America, has also said they made their position clear. They will not accept it. So we have Cuba now siding with Venezuela. We have Colombia, and then we have Brazil. And all because somebody wants to get their hands on the oil reserve of Venezuela. If that happens, what happens to Guyana? They're next. And one of the issues we have to observe that neither Venezuela or Guyana is in any possession of a nuclear weapon or nuclear weaponry to adequately defend themselves against this threat. Countries with nuclear weaponry are not afraid because they have a deterrent to defend themselves about this kind of incursion. But Venezuela, as large as it is, Guyana, as large as it is, with the amount of mineral resources they have, mainly oil, they do not have that nuclear deterrence. And so it seems that it's easy picking for the powers like powers that be, I would say, or like the Trump administration. It's all about oil. It's all about stealing people's national minerals, threatening the sovereignty. And so we can ask ourselves the question, Trinidad being that close, right? What happens to us in the region? Remember some time ago we had that program called Petro-Carib? When Chavez was still the president of of Venezuela. And for some reason it was disbanded because the large oil companies thought that it was infringing on their bottom line. So that was disbanded. Barbados was saying that they should not have to pay so much money for oil when it's in the region. So that's a consideration. Should Venezuela be attacked under the pretext that is because they're a drug cartel and they're shipping drugs to the U.S., what do we in the region do? So that zone of peace, that sense of peace and tranquility in the region, despite our little differences, will be shattered. At this point in time, we're going to pause for a few kind words from our sponsors. As Quint reminded me, without the sponsors, we have no program, so we'll take a pause, pay our respect, and we'll be back. We'll open the lines for commentary from anyone who wishes to weigh in.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Rams the good food people always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
To our viewers and listeners, welcome back to today's presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates. We just about, let's see. Okay, we go straight to the phone lines. Good day, caller. You're live on the program.
Good morning, Socrates.
Good morning, Mr. McMahon. How about thou?
I'm fine. Glad to hear that you've recovered.
Yes, thank you so very much for that.
Yes. And, of course, you know that the king has to get royal treatment.
You know something? So many persons came there afterwards and told me that they didn't know I was a person that they heard about. And this was after the fact. Lady said to me, since I was a child growing up, I hear about Socrates, I didn't know it was you. So it wasn't a case of me being given special treatment.
Okay.
But still.
I know that. I know that. Just yanking your chain, so to speak.
Not a problem.
There are ongoing quality issues. It's too hit and miss. I wish everybody would get the same great treatment every time. Unfortunately, that's not the case yet, but I'm sure they're working on it.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. But what you're talking about there, this zone of peace. Well, first of all, initially I thought you were going to talk about another zone that is about to become controversial.
Okay.
Locally. But leave that aside. Leave that aside for now. It's about time that we learn to solve our own problems among ourselves. We should not give the superpowers a pretext to intervene in the area. And even though it's south of us, you can bet your life we depend so much on tourism, the cruise industry, and so on.
Correct.
All kind of marine shipping is going to be affected.
Interrupted, yeah.
If hostilities break out. So we should not look at this thing lightly. And we have this habit of, and I'm talking about the regional leaders, going to these meetings, meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, making big speeches, and not solving the issues. There is no reason why whatever problem there is between Trinidad and Venezuela, or Venezuela and Guyana, or Venezuela and Colombia, there is no reason why these can't be solved among ourselves and keep out foreign intervention. Right? But I don't know. It's probably the approach to leadership. Everybody want to be a strong man. Everybody don't want to back down. Nobody want to compromise. You look at Guyana, and I know that Guyanese would say no straight out the bat. I mean, I've heard them already say it.
Say what?
But to me, would say no to this proposal straight out the bat. But I feel that there is enough oil well spread among and enough land mass spread among those areas down there.
Those zones, yeah.
Yeah, that is enough for everybody. Okay, there's so much in Guyana still to be developed, right? They can enter some kind of agreement with Venezuela, where Venezuela can help develop the resources, including the oil and so on, right? And they still get the royalties. It's what they're doing now anyway with U.S. companies, Exxon and those companies, right? So if they can do that with the U.S. companies, why can't they do it with a neighbor?
You're right.
I know people say, well, that's easy.
The capabilities are the problem in the markets. Those are control the markets. So these mega oil companies, they have a monopoly. And it seems that you have to negotiate with them to get where you want to go.
No. That's a separate issue. The marketing is a separate issue. I am talking about this skirmishes that we speak about, this to and fro in the what you call it, the land claims and those kinds of things.
You mean the execrable lands?
Right. Those things can be settled. Right? I would agree that Guyana should not give up the existing lines, even though they might have been settled in colonial time. I mean, you can if you're going to do that, you might as well say, Well, none of us here in St. Kitts and Nevis own any land. They belong to us.
You're correct.
It was the original Caribs and Arawaks who were here.
You're correct.
So we can't go all the way back in history. But what we can do, because as I started out by saying, we can share the resources.
There's more than enough to supply the region and develop your countries, respectively. They're more than enough.
Right, and I'm saying that to me, what would have been a good way out, let Ghana keep the borders that it has right now. Stop disputing them, okay? Stop disputing those borders and enter some kind of agreement between Ghana and
Venezuela?
Venezuela, facilitated by CARICOM, that allow Venezuela to develop those lands as well. I don't see the huge deal there, right? But I don't know. These leaders just they refuse to think out of the box. They refuse to compromise, and we end up with these kinds of situations.
You even had some posture from the current president of Trinidad, with like they're
right. Exactly. Why do we have to go side in with an outside power in the first place? Solve our problems regionally. That is what we should do. I don't understand but I guess it's the leadership we elect, right? They have no vision. If they have problems down here, all of us going to be affected, right?
That is quite
they
so.
They don't see that far. It's really unfortunate. They're a big disappointment, to be quite honest, right? They're struggling individually to develop their own little 2x4 countries. Where they could be doing something much bigger and better.
I think was some reference about the side of Trinidad that I was made in Venezuela where they pushed back. That's a problem. The whole issue of territorialism. That's a problem. Because you can't talk about CARICOM uniting the 13 countries, but you have this whole territorial issue. And there should be arbitration where we can do that amongst ourselves.
But I'm not even talking unity right now. I'm talking cooperation, right? It's in all of our interest to make sure that the Caribbean remain a zone of peace.
A zone of peace.
Right? Okay? And so I'm saying they can cooperate to do that without even dealing with the sovereignty questions that seem to be so near and dear to their hearts. I call it false pride anyway, because in the bigger scheme of things, we're nothing. Whether Trinidad, Barbados, or St. Kitts Nevis, it just drops in the ocean, and people are gonna just walk all over us. But we prefer to, how they put it,
cut out?
Swim together. We prefer to drown separately rather than
swim together.
Yeah, that's what it is right now.
It is sad.
It's sad. It's really sad, But it is what it is, I guess. Okay, then.
Thank you very much for that contribution. One appreciates, of course, I always like hearing from you and the other callers. But it's a issue that we in the smaller region should not take for granted because it's not affecting us directly at the moment. The last caller spoke about how we can affect our tourism industry, the shipping lanes, etc. That would, of course, affect the cost of living. And it's all about, let me use the word grabbing, other people's sovereign mineral resources. It was stated by Donald Trump in 2022. Imagine, we're buying oil from Grenada, from Venezuela. When I was there, I left and we could just take it. And that's the mentality and the idea that these sovereign territories do not matter. As I said before, if you had a nuclear deterrent, if you have the capability to defend yourself against this threat, because you two were equal in terms of your nuclear capability. So they sent a submarine that's nuclear equipped and another vessel to surround Venezuela, all because of the oil, and put a $50 million US bounty on the head of a sovereign state. We pause once more for another break to give credit to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, we're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Hey guys, welcome back to the program. The topic is up there right now. The last caller waiting on the issue, the topic of the potential invasion of Venezuela by the Trump administration. We were discussing what it would mean for the region in terms of the stability and what I describe as a zone of peace. We go straight to the phone lines. Good day, caller. You live on Voices.
Sakote,
Yes, sir.
good day.
Good day to you.
Good day, and yes, and greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Yes, I'm doing good and blessed in Jesus Christ.
Amen to
Thank
that.
God for that.
Amen to that.
Thank God. Yes, I'm glad to hear that you're better now. I did not know you were in the hospital. I thought the reason why I wasn't hearing you is because you were busy otherwise with
I did travel,
with
you
the
know.
tourism service.
No, I did travel, so it wasn't there all the time. I did travel, went to Anguilla,
okay.
and then I returned to, and such. So I did travel.
Okay, I did not know you were hospitalized. You said?
Yeah.
Yes, I did not know that. So, but I'm glad to hear that you are doing much better and that you are at least recovering, if not already completely recovered.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Yes, yes. God bless you. Now, come to the issue of our zone of peace, as you called it.
As I call it, yeah.
Yes. Now, with all due respect, we were never a zone of peace. Just like the rest of the world, we were never a zone of peace. What we were at best was a zone of false peace and false security. That is what we were at best.
And right
You
now,
see, and the reason,
you say were. What is the current status?
At present as well, and at present as
Okay.
well. Yes. And the reason why I said that is this. It's all based on the Bible. Any peace, any security and prosperity and so on that are not based on and rooted in the Bible is false at best. But it can appear so real that if you don't have spiritual eyes to see the difference between the false and the genuine based upon the Bible, you will mistake it for the genuine thing. Because sometimes, for example, a counterfeit dollar could look so real that if your eye is not...
You're going to tell me about spiritual peace. I'm making the comparison with word opposite. In the absence of war, there's peace and vice versa. We've had no wars in the region, so we're making comparisons to other parts of the world where there's ongoing conflict and war and turmoil and slaughter. We don't have that, so by comparison, it's a zone of peace. You're saying we may not have a spiritual peace. That's your point.
I'm saying the spiritual is at the root of it all. Because what the Bible said, that shall say peace, peace, and then sudden destruction shall come upon them.
That is true.
So, yeah, the Bible said that there will say peace, peace, and then sudden destruction will come upon them. And because we haven't been having these slaughters and these wars and these things, we have been in the Caribbean saying peace, peace, when we don't know that we are up for sudden destruction and slaughter, you know? And so that's why I call it peace based upon what the Bible... Sorry, that's why I call it a false peace, false security, and even false prosperity based upon what the Bible teaches.
I hear you. Let me ask you a question. Given all that, what do you think the leaders in the region, what should their reaction be to that threat to Venezuela?
Socrates, again, people can hear to what I have to say, but the only thing we can do, Socrates, first of all, get right with Jesus, our own self, and secondly, seek what the Bible says as to how to attain peace. Because what the Bible says, God is with you if you are with him. And we are not with God, and so therefore God is not with us, no matter what we say, no matter what we do. Until we are with God, God will be with us. And that's the only how we can achieve true peace, true security, true prosperity,
and the Prince of Peace.
And so on. Only when we are with Jesus Christ.
And the Prince of Peace, right? God, he's the Prince of Peace.
Exactly, he's the Prince of Peace. And man without the Bible do not know peace. So no matter what we say, no matter what we do, it would all be in vain. And even to our own instruction, if we are not first on this side of Jesus Christ. And that's the only solution. Only the Bible has the solution. Only the Bible has the answers to all the issues of our life and all that is within life, including politics, economics, you name it all.
One has to respect your devotedness to your belief, your faith. One has to respect that. So somebody asked me some time ago if you went to school with Jesus Christ.
Well, I am in his school. He's my teacher. I mean,
no wonder you were classmates, because they actually admire your father, right? But they say, I wonder if Gregory went to school with Jesus Christ.
No, I am in his school. I am, as all true Christians, I am in his school. I'm in his school with he being my teacher.
Okay.
Via and through and by the Bible. Now, let me say this, Socrates. Let me say this. Trump, okay?
Yep.
Trump, as we all know, is doing a lot of evil and wrong, okay? But I have to give Trump this. I have to give him this above the other presidents above him. Bush, Obama, Biden, Clinton, Reagan, and so on. I have to give Trump this. Trump is more open than the others. For example, you did mention that Trump said, hey, this is all about oil. We want your oil.
We'll take it.
Okay? We're going to take your oil. The others then before Trump, it was no different than us. It was still oil. Biden,
well,
Obama,
there were negotiations.
Clinton.
When they put them on embargo, there was an embargo put on Russia the oil shipment. So Biden turned to Venezuela, who was supposed to be the enemy, and worked a deal. Because it was closer. Because of that embargo put on Russia, they had to turn to Venezuela, the enemy, perceived enemy. But Biden negotiated. Trump is saying that they should take it. So because he makes a declaration and he's not using subterfuge, does it make it right?
Yeah, but remember Obama and Biden overthrew Gaddafi for his oil.
Obama,
other stuff as well.
Yep.
Other stuff as well, including his oil. Okay? Now, what I'm saying is that at least Trump is open enough and honest enough to say, hey, we're going to take your...
Disrespectful should be the phrase. Disrespectful.
No. Trump
discarding other person's sovereignty. He's out of order.
It is all disrespectful. Whether Trump, Biden, Obama, you name them, it's all disrespectful. But in the disrespectfulness, at least Trump is open and honest enough to tell you, hey, we're coming for your oil. It is about oil. We're going to take your oil. What
they said, that Maduro is not the duly elected president, and he's the head of a drug trafficking cartel. So it's all about stopping the flood of drugs to the U.S. That is send down a submarine, nuclear-equipped submarine. You have the DEA. Look how many years they were in Colombia fighting drugs. Has it brought any, and it's still flowing. So if it failed in Colombia, why would it? We know it's all about oil.
The drug thing is just a scapegoat. Okay?
But you say he's open and honest?
In Colombia, and that's also this, go down there and other places in the world and traffic drugs to get money to run this operation.
But if you don't create the market, if you don't provide the market, you won't have these people selling. You create the market. The U.S. is the biggest market for illicit drugs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they can't be fighting. It can't be the reason why they're going in other countries because they're the ones that we put in drugs in other people's countries.
Correct.
Okay? So it's really, at least when it comes to Venezuela, it's really about oil. But what I am saying that in the past, Trump was honest enough to say is about... Yes,
there is not an honest bone in Donald Trump, buddy.
Yeah, they're not honest bone in none of them. We go
with that?
None of them.
I don't think he was honest enough.
But
He's
I
stupid.
can't say this honest. I can't. No, if you're going in a man's country because of his oil, and you tell him, hey, this is oil I'm coming in your country for, I consider that to be honest. Disrespectful, yes, but I consider it to be honest. But the others, them, go in people country, overthrow the government for the oil and so on, like Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein and so on, and Assad and so on, in Syria and so on. Go into the country and overthrow them because of the oil. And at the same time, telling them, no, it ain't oil, we come to spread democracy in your country. It's all about spreading democracy in your country, which is nonsense.
In terms of Gaddafi, he was not only overthrown for the oil and the potential, but because he was stabilizing Libya in a manner that did not need any loan from the World Bank and the IMF.
Yeah, and he wanted to back his dollar with gold and wanted it for the African country.
You remember the Bank of Libya that was supposed to be established here at the Social Security Annex?
Yes. Yes, but what I'm saying that oil also had a big part to play. His oil had also a big part to play in the invasion. Okay? And what I'm saying, they went in and they said, oh, no, we come to spread democracy. We come to spread democracy. No, you didn't come to spread democracy.
What about
for the man's oil and for other reasons such as stopping him from backing his dollar with gold, stopping him from getting the African countries to do the same thing, and so on and so on. But I'm saying, at least in the past, with Trump's statement, at least that was an honest statement from him that is really about the oil.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that he was a good man. It doesn't mean that he wasn't disrespectful, but at least in his
arrogance.
At least in his arrogance,
In
at
his
least
arrogance.
in his disrespectfulness and that sort of. At
And
least
ignorance.
that statement coming from him. But
To
at
feel
least
that people are going to just
statement
roll
coming
over
from
and
him.
play dead.
Yeah.
He has another
Yeah,
thing
but what
coming.
I'm saying-
Those Latin American countries going to band together and give him a bloody nose.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that at least that statement in the past where he said, is your oil I want and is your oil I taking, at least that was
Okay.
an honest statement from him.
At 50 minutes to go, Gregory, we have to take another pause to give credit to our sponsors. So thank you for your contribution.
Okay,
You're free to
thank
call.
you too.
Much appreciated.
Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Back to school is here, and Digicel is making it extra exciting. Go back to school in style with a brand new laptop. All you have to do is activate a 3-day Prime bundle or higher. Switch to Digicel or sign up for a postpaid plan, and you could be one of 2 lucky winners. At Digicel, we're all about keeping you connected. So what are you waiting for? Get ready, get connected, and go back to school the Digicel way. Digicel, better connected for back to school.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. We want your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
At 10:48, welcome back to today's continuing presentation of Voices. I want to share with you something I learned a few weeks ago that disturbed me. The government has established the minimum wage to be, well, roughly $500 weekly. That's a good thing, is it not? I am told that a certain commercial house is upset with that. Can I get back to that? Let's take this call. It's called Voices. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Yeah, good morning, the King.
Good morning. So, welcome to the program.
Yes. You know, the King, the world on a...
I haven't heard his voice in a million years.
Sorry?
Go right ahead, sir.
You know, the people on this planet on a whole have to start paying attention to all the things that we are encountering as we embark on our path of life. Over the years, you know, I can go back as far as in the 1960s when things weren't the way it were, but yet there was always chaos, there was always war and rumors of war, as they put it in their book. Now, let us look at lies and deception, the King. Lies and deception, wars and rumors of wars. Now, you mentioned earlier this morning about what Trump has displaced down into the Caribbean in Venezuela with their, military power. But we have Donald Trump, we have Emmanuel Macron, we have other superpower leaders who are putting their interests out there on the world. Their interests, their right, the king, their right to come into your house, to come into our yard, our backyard, and tell us, should you interfere with our interests? Now let us look at our leaders, the king. Where are our leaders' voices in asking the question, what gives you the right to come into my yard and claim what belongs to me? Where are our voices, our leaders' voices in this, the king? Now, I want to focus, because this is what I wanted to bring forth this morning. There's a diplomatic politician from France who was captured in Mali. And Emmanuel Macron and the French government is saying, release him at once. Release him at once. With all the evidence that they caught against this Jan Vigelaire, all the evidence that they have on him, here is Emmanuel Macron is coming and spinning this lies and deception. And this is my thing, the king. They gave us a book that says, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt... All the thou shalt not. What gives them the right to do it? What gives them the right to do it? Because does the book apply to them? I mean, we have to be real here. We have to be real and start looking at how they have flipped the script on us.
What is the response of the country that is demanding the release of that person from?
Sorry?
What is the response of the country where Macron is demanding the release of that agent?
Well, he has not been released, and there is friction that is brewing between Mali and France right now. And it's not just Mali and France; it's also Burkina Faso and Niger. Mm-hmm. Because this here is very disturbing for me, the king.
We don't mind what they demand. The thing is, what is the reaction? Because there was a time that those countries just bend over and take it. That has changed.
This is my argument, the king. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't, or we cannot allow ourselves to continue to just go along to get along. We have to let them know that we are aware of what they're capable of. And the king, the earth itself is calling for change. The earth and the universe is calling for change.
Who expects it as the issue?
There's a virus that is on this planet. There's a virus that is plaguing the children of the Creator on this planet. And if we open our eyes, it is clear to know who this virus is. And we have to speak out, as if we don't, the rocks will certainly cry out, the king. Where are our leaders' voices in all that is going on here? I mean, what?
They're mainly bowing at the same altar.
With our interests. I mean, what is that?
Our leaders are mainly kowtowing at the same altar. We got to figure that's the only way to find favor.
Listen, the king. Listen to me. My observation and my realization is that we cannot come up against this system as an individual. We may not even come up with CARICOM as a body. But let us unite back with the continent. Let us unite with the continent. They are creating destabilization everywhere there is minerals for their own interests. What gives them the right to go into another
Because that playbook has worked for them over the centuries.
But that's what I'm saying, the king. It has to come to an end. Yes, we know of their military power because they're ruling with chaos, fear, and by the gun.
Do you know a song by the Black Stallion called Ism Schism?
I can't say I do.
If you get a chance, listen to it. Better stay away from them ism. Because all them ism is just schism. You must have a nuclear weapon in order to defend your schism. From communism to capitalism to socialism, we are at play. We are pawns. But he's saying whatever your position is, until you have a nuclear weapon to defend your ism, you're in trouble. So you're asking for a collective response against these juggernauts of atrocity,
I asked the question last week, the King. What type of people get up at mornings with creating weapons of destruction on their mind? What kind of people on this planet that wakes up with creating weapons of death on their mind? I'm not just talking about pulling the trigger of a gun. I'm talking about nuclear weapons. What kind of people have lost their way that they have to create to defend their borders? I mean, where that came from? Where all of that came from, the King? And this is where we are today. Are we going to bring back harmony, peace, joy, and love to nature? But then if we have to, these people cannot be a part of the new earth, the King. I'll leave it there for now.
Thank you so very much. We got about 4 minutes before we get to the top of the hour. And let's see if we can take the next call or two. But there is a blog out there where this person speaks about the 54 countries in Africa and the 13 in the region. And not one of those countries or this region has produced any nuclear weapon, any weapon of mass destruction, has invaded any other country and forced our culture and our language on any other country or people. So he says, we are the peace that the UN is looking for. The black race is the peace that the UN has been looking for. We don't bomb other countries. We don't invade other countries. We don't impose our culture, our language, and our nonsense on other countries. None of the countries in Africa, the 54, none of the 13 in the region has done that. So we are the race with the peace that the UN is looking for. Do we have a call? Will they call 11 voices? Yes, your 11 voices. Sir, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, your 11 voices.
Yes, this is WinFM.
Live and direct, jam down.
Yeah, WinFM.
Yes, sir.
This is Socrates show?
Yeah, his voices. I'm Socrates, of course.
Yeah. Oh, Socrates.
Sir.
Socrates.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah, you listened to DJ Mary show last night?
I'm aware of the story. I spoke with the Red some time ago, so I'm aware of that story.
Well, I want to say to the government, Red Francis born here.
Correct.
And to go and give him a letter like that, to removing him from down there where he's serving all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And people who coming in to do business in the country. Jam down ain't gonna tolerate that, you know. When we're ready to burn, when say nasty, I deal with him. Let her go over the Christoph Clark to Willan. Why the can go over there back to Willan every money?
That's inherently wrong.
Jump on Ben Francis' son. If Ben was alive, Socrates. I mean, look what these people doing to local people trying to push the head out the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous, Socrates, nasty, and we are asking Red Francis to bring the letter to the public. Because they're going to get away with this. They got a man over on South Firesbury, West Beach, where locals bill. All them here brothers, and men come from Jamaica and run them off the beach. Them people looking problem, they're looking problem. We don't want that in St. We don't want a 1993 repeat here. And the call
Thank you very much for your contribution. We got about, it's about time we pause for another station break. It's the top of the hour. We'll be right back with more commentary on the program.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM. Ready to save while you build? Now you can at Builders Paradise. Yes, shoppers, build up your Value Club points at Builders Paradise. That's right, Value Club members and shoppers, your favorite frequent buyer club is now available at the home of hardware and more. Whether you're laying tiles, painting walls, replacing doors, upgrading windows, or fixing up your home, every purchase at Builders Paradise now earns you Value Club points. Enjoy exclusive benefits like discounts on thousands of items, special savings for seniors, instant deals, quarterly rebates, plus an extra up to 2% off every quarter. Shop more, save more, and more only at Builders Paradise. Don't miss out. Start building your rewards today with Value Club at Builders Paradise, because every bolt, board, and brush brings you closer to bigger, better savings. Terms and conditions apply.
Flow customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 # or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
By the Catholic school. I'll call back with directions. Yeah, not your fault. And we're live. We're back on the program. We want to thank our callers and listeners and viewers for participating. We go straight back to the phone lines. Go to caller, you're live on Voices.
Good morning and peace to you and the Noah Nation, coming from me and constituency number 7.
Coming from me?
Yeah, Lincoln David Pell.
Got the name, got the voice.
Number 7.
Welcome once again to the program.
Right, I'm just listening to the good folks of our nation and in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
What I could say to solve that problem when the next election comes, give the People's Action Movement that opportunity again to make our nation and our people to be the persons who will chart our course, to write our story, continue to write our story in a good way. Because we have done it in the past and we're going to do it again and even better. I could only simplify it by saying that because I know sometimes other people want to call in. I'm not sure how much more time your program might have. But I just want our people to understand, just have hope, have faith. We will write our story and we will make our country prosperous again. Yes, I think the issue might be around lands and how it's been used and so forth. Remember the People's Action Movement in that day treasures the land and try to make sure the land gets better use for our people and the development. But there's something good that is happening that we have to be mindful of. I mentioned it already and I'll mention it again. Once upon a time, free access to the good beaches were a problem. Because at least you should know, the lands were not, you understand, coming under the control of other person.
Yeah, they were owned by the...
And now we have them under our control. We should make sure when we are selling lands, because there's a difference between the coastline and the shoreline. We should never be so close, those things. Because, you remember once upon a time we used to play football and cricket on the beach?
Yep.
If we continue the path where we're going, our people will have no place of recreation on the beach. And when we have high tide, the beach gone. Because you know that happens, right? When we have high tide.
Correct.
And it seems as if our persons who sanction these things forget that. And if you look around the island, you'll realize some of our beaches would have gone because of high tide and
coastal region, yes.
And changed the entire landscape.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if the person are learning from it, but I know for sure, under the People's Action Movement, we will do things differently. Better to make sure our people could recreate and the beach, have the picnic on the beach, and do all kind of things on the beach because land will be there for the beach. Because there are no private beaches in St. Kitts. And we shouldn't allow or encourage anyone to think we do have and to create one or two. Because they were just putting our people at a bad end. While I'm here, I'm not sure if you have any questions for me, so I could answer any questions to the best of my ability. But I just want to say, keep the faith and give the people's actual movement that opportunity to govern our nation once again. All the concerns that people have, we will get them in order. Because what happens? The people's actual movement have the people's agenda and they put people first. And by putting the people first, that means our nation will benefit. Because it's our nationals and our assets will have to be taken care of properly for the benefit of us, not for others. Because there are many development that was supposed to be for the benefit of the nation. Some of them didn't come off, and we have a problem. I'm sure you know a lot of them what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right, so I'm going to end it there by just saying, if you have any questions...
Quick question.
I'm here.
Can you update us on the Independence, the walk, where it's leaving from, when, etc., etc.? It's part of a tradition that goes back to 1983. And so now you're still maintaining it. So where and when will that be taking place?
Sorry, I couldn't give much information because I do not have the document in front of me. Because I have it, but it's not in front of me.
But it's on.
All I know is going to be one where we have a relay. For all the constituents will be taking that relay and taking a leg to come in. So what I can do, I will get the document, and maybe what time you finish, or maybe I could give a quick
We
call
done at midday.
Okay, well, I'll call back before that and give the details of it. So I'll get it now, and in the next couple of minutes or so, I will give a shout back and give you the information.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Thank you, sir. And we continue with the dialogue, the social discourse on the various topics. The previous caller spoke very passionately about the issues as relates to Mr. Reginald Francis. He and I spoke, I would say roughly about 18 months ago, and he gave me in great detail the situation he was facing. Will you have us call? Okay, we go straight to the phone line.
Yes.
Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good
Okay, let's take the first caller. You're live on Voices.
Good day.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning. Ladies
Morning.
first. Go right ahead.
Yes. Yes. I would like to ask a question. What's really going on in St. Kitts? Last week I was listening to Mr. Marisha, for calling the name right.
Correct.
And he had on a gentleman there. And then I was listening to a next one with Dr. Alexander. I hear him say he leave the Labour Party, and he was talking about the health care.
Health care.
What? Yes, he was talking about the health care. And before the election, I hear some people were saying, when Labour do anything wrong, they're going to be the first one to speak out. I ain't hearing anybody speaking out now. Big Life, what's up with you? I ain't hearing you anymore. And there's nobody going to mug your mouth. Things ain't going well. Big Life, I want to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I hear Ike, what's his name, Lucy, and all of them used to say they're going to be the first one to speak out. We need to hear voices now. We need to hear it.
Well said.
They talk about Timothy, they talk about Dougie. Let's go, let's talk about this one we're in. Things is not looking and going well. We got to save our land, save our legacy, and save our people. We struggle a lot. You can't have these people coming in here want to take our people land like that. What's going on, bro? Why is it all these investors need to come St. Kitts?
Nevis is also concerned about land acquisition over there. I forget the acronym for the piece of legislation where you can acquire people land. So on Nevis, they have a serious concern. They speak about that particular piece of legislation that allows the government to acquire people land on the southern side of Nevis. So we need to pay attention to that also.
That's not fair. He talking about fair share for Nevis. What happened? The people them got a land, that's the fair share. You cannot do that. You can't.
Well, that was passed in the federal parliament, you know.
But they have to go up and take it back because it's not fair. You can't take people like that. It was the government land, but you cannot sell out people place like that. What the hell going on in this place here? Eh? These people, let me tell you, you know. The grandmother from Nevis, you know, she was living thinking, and she's now and says people think she's stupid because she's from Nevis. Nevis is lying, stupid, you know. No liar land go like that. You crazy? What do you for people? You mean think it's Nevis? Everybody wants to come. Therefore, you think it's a Nevis. They don't go nowhere. Eh? Faculty is not fair. Let me tell you, you know what I see happening. Michael Jackson come here was to build a hotel and a casino on a beach here, must be Rainbow Beach. And when he come, no, he couldn't get through again. The people said, the land is for the generation to come. He had a place named Grapevine up east, and some people named Bill come here to build something. And the people they went down in front of the legislature and they protest him who ain't born here. A man named Nelson, he was a senator, if I'm thinking. He said, no, that's a steal. The land is for the generation to come. You cannot sell out people land like that. Think it and need it is too small island. What you mean? When nobody come in one land. Everybody must come and take empty briefcase and people them who born here.
Okay.
Blood and tears, parents. Gotta go through that. It's not fair,
Okay, we're sharing the line. We're sharing the line with another caller. So give the other caller a chance to be heard.
Manners are sending a message to you. And why you be this first one with your placard? Save land, legacy, and our generation to come.
Okay, thank you. Let's get the other caller a chance to hear what they have to say. Good day, caller. You live. Thanks for holding. Okay, caller, we apologize for the fact that we're didn't call before you. So if you get a chance, please call back. Hear what you have to say. We have some burning issues that a lot of folks sometimes are unaware of what's happening. So you find the fact that people are keeping their ears to the ground is very important, because sometimes we hear about certain issues when it's a done deal. Call your live on Voices. Thanks for holding.
Yes, good day.
Good day to you, sir.
Reparations is a must. When we were kidnapped, actually human trafficking, we talk a lot about it. We are evidence of that. And the subsequent result, where our names, our language, our religion, our cultures were beaten out of us. So we can become good servants and settlers. The point I am making is this: these lands are not ours. Our only lands, the only place we can claim and hold lands is Africa. That is our home. Now let me say this. Deals have already been made, and I hope the people are going to wake up in time. The bill that was passed is to facilitate the collection. We are sleeping. The only truth is reality. And if you look at the action of your leadership, you know the truth. People win election, then decide to move away from the people into gated communities. We need to pay attention and learn. Have a good day.
Thank you so very much. That's the discussion that was explained that the PM wanted to move into an area we could have an official Prime Minister's residence. Don't know if that's the thing. But that's the conversation that after he got elected, he moved into a gated community. Do we have a caller line?
Yes, sir. I'm back.
Yes. Thanks for holding.
We call it the Palm Diamond Anniversary Charity Walk Run.
Yes.
This year. And it will be Sunday, the 21st of September, 3:30 p.m.
I'm listening.
And it will be on the east side, starting at Contact.
Heading to?
And yes. You know, so that will be like, as I say, a relay. And to participate is to, the package include a $60 contribution where it come with T-shirt, cans, tap, water bottle, bag, and
okay.
Like, and you have a registration. But to make it more exciting and to get personally involved, maybe even you, I will try to see if I could do one of the legs. Where it's like a relay, and each constituency will have a runner to take one, I think is a couple meters, well. to run and get to the next person until everything will come in the Newtown area.
Okay, got you. What about the western end? That's from the eastern end. Southern context. What about from the western end?
From the west side, now we'll have from UMHS. That's where the university, outside the medical university.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's two directions. One from the east, one from the west. They will be started. And it will be relayed to each. And of course, we're asking everybody from, well, most personal, a lot of personal, much personal as possible, from every constituency to come out and represent. And it's a health fun walk. So it is for health, it's for fun, and it's to meet with people, maybe friends you haven't spoken with for a long time, and just to catch up, and just talk whatever you want to talk.
Socialize.
But at the same time, meet the next Prime Minister of St. Nevis, Stanley Gray Brooks, who is our political leader, and she will be there, and she'll be more than happy to meet you. Yes, of course, I will be as well, because I am one of the deputy political leaders, along with other drums. So just come out and meet the person, the chairman, everybody will be there. So just come out, have fun, and at the same time, participate. We only have a lot to benefit from taking part in such physical activity. I know we have doctors come on sometimes and talk about physical activity. So like we said, it's a run, walk event. So if you cannot run, you walk and enjoy yourself and make yourself proud to see, okay, at least I participated, I did something. You know the New York Marathon, how people give themselves for it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking persons to give themselves to do something like that. Start out small. It might be a short distance, but at least.
I recall the day when we walked from Old Road to Pamit Quarters. From Old Road straight up. Longer walks. From Old Road up. I recall the time when we walked from Old Road to Bastia.
Yes.
So you shorten it. That's okay.
Well, I think because they wanted to make it a bit longer, but because of the trend to do this relay, and to put some more pep in it, so is to kind of accommodate certain things. And, it's not just for walking, so if you have a wheelchair, if you have whatever it is, just come and participate. People there to make sure, person just participate. Just get the exercise.
But the tradition goes back like 43 years.
Second?
The tradition goes back 43 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know the history more than the history very well, sir.
Okay.
You know the history. So I'm happy that you know it too, at least where I might slip up a bit. You will be there to guide and let people know, well, hey, this is not just something started yesterday.
No, 43 years ago.
Long time.
It was a charity walk. The proceeds went to one time the children home, another, places like that. So, yes.
Yes, it's the same. They have the same outlook, but, just doing things a bit more to get more persons involved. Those who may not want to walk but not want to run, to get them in, and those who might have wheelchairs or other things that just want to participate. It's open to everybody to come and just...
Well, that's information worthwhile sharing. That's information worthwhile sharing. I want to thank you for calling back to share with the public. So, one appreciates that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. God bless St. Nevis. God bless the People's Action Movement, and of course, God bless constituencies, and peace to all of us.
Mr. Pell, obviously for the next one. Okay. We free at the moment? Yeah, I wanted to make a point a while ago about we gave deference to the callers. The minimum wages having been raised to $500 weekly, approximate. A certain commercial house, rather than honor and respect the workers, has decided to cut their daily work to 4 days a week. So they're not any longer allowed to work for the 5 days to get that salary that will give them that $500 minimum. They cut their work. No respect for the people. And then the representation is not there because people are grumbling about where do you go to get redress. The government sought to raise the minimum wage to $500 weekly. And a certain commercial house, rather than honor the workers and pay them that, they decided to cut their days. So whereas they were working 5 days a week, they cut back to 4. And these are issues that a majority of people don't know, they're unaware, but these are some of the things that people are going through daily. It was seen necessary to raise the income level the earning level of the workers. And this commercial house, whom I can't mention, as I said, it cut the workers' salaries by not giving them the 5-day work week as was, is due to them. So Amber over there in Anguilla, she says she's locked on, and you had a march against violence and crime in Anguilla. Was it yesterday? They are having issues with gun violence, and so Anguilla is saying no to crime and violence, and they came out in demonstration. We've had occasion to do the very same thing here, so I understand. Roughly a month ago, a delegation from Anguilla came to St. Kitts. I met with the Prime Minister and the National Security Unit to discuss measures whereas they can apply that which worked for us in St. Kitts to the challenges in Anguilla. So yes, it's important from time to time for the public to make a stand, and we appreciate that. So I'm going to keep you posted as to what's happening over there. I wish you guys all the best. Your safety is, of course, and we go to the phone lines. Good day, caller. You live on Voices.
Yes, Socrates?
Yes, sir.
It's me again. You mentioned issues concerning the minimum wage, okay?
Yep.
Now, excuse me. Excuse me. Now, government raising the minimum wage, government having a minimum wage in the first place is contrary to the Bible, and therefore it is wrong and counterproductive. And raising it only compounds matter even more.
Explain that to rational thinking people.
Okay. Let me first begin by this. WinFM have an article on the website. The article is titled, Sean Richards accuses SKN government of ruining the economy. It was published on the 13th of October, 2025. Sorry, not October, sorry. The 13th of August. The article was published on the 13th of August, 2025. Sean Richards accuses SKN government of ruining the economy. And he said something that I've been saying for years. Let me just read the paragraph. The locals can no longer afford to do business here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. When you are going to increase the cost of electricity, when within a 2-year period you are going to increase the minimum wage, it is going to have an impact on local businesses. When you as a government, when you are broke, it means that you cannot afford to spend money on capital projects. But the main takeaway concerning what you're speaking of, he says here, when within a 2-year period you're going to increase minimum wage, it is going to have an impact on local businesses. This is what Sean said, according to the article on WinFM. Now, this is what I've been saying for years. And so said, so it comes to be. Because what I've said is rooted and based in the Bible. Now, government, according to the Bible, its God-given function is to execute justice, nothing else, just to execute justice. So therefore, minimum wage, running schools, running houses, roads, running hospitals, all these sort of stuff, biblically, do not belong to government activity. And when we go against the Bible, we always lose in the end, and it's always to our detriment and destruction. Now, zero in and minimum wages. And like I said, I've been saying this for the longest a while. When government raise the minimum wage, okay?
I'm listening.
All sorts of negative stuff happen because, like I said, it is unbiblical, goes against the Bible. And one of the things that I've said through the years is that businesses tend to cut the workers' hours, that sort of stuff. Because why? You, if you make a business start to pay out more, start to have to dig deeper into its purse and start to pay more, if the turnover has not increased then the business only ends up losing more. And so because they're in extra expenses now, and the turnover are not increasing, they're going to resort to all sorts of stuff to offset that increase of minimum wage that has put them in extra expense.
So are you endorsing this move by the commercial house I referenced?
Well, they have to do. They have to do if this extra expense is going to be a burden, and then they have to do what they have to do.
So the alternative was not to raise. The alternative, according to you, was never to raise the minimum wage to a point where workers and citizens across the board need that increase in salary.
Raising the minimum wage, another negative and counterproductive result is that raising the minimum wage will not help the citizens as you think. What it does, it increase prices, so you're back to square one again, and maybe even worse, because the businesses have more expense.
Because unscrupulous business persons exploit that. You should not. If you're dealing honestly with business, your bottom line may be affected, but make the adjustment and honor the workers.
If you are losing
we have this called
money,
starvation salary where people have to sacrifice to get by. If the government sees fit to raise it to a point where they feel honored and better respected, nobody has the right to go in and just say, oh, you know what? We're not making enough money, so let me cut back on your days. Drop it from 5 to 4. That's unscrupulous.
What is happening to a lot of businesses in St. Kitts, and I've been working in inland revenue, and I know what I'm talking about. What has been happening to a lot of businesses in St. Kitts over the many years now is that a lot of them has been going out of business because of problems with their profit, not making enough money. So what you want the business to do? Go more and more in extra expense, and then afterward go out of business?
At the same time, these particular entity has been expanding. So there's a question of them going out of business. They have been expanding.
I know a lot of them has. I know a lot of them has also been going, and much more has been going out of business. I know that. Much more of them has been going out of business. So even if one or two are also expanding, the amount that are going out of business more than offset that.
So you're saying this is the common practice every time the minimum wage is raised or there's wage and salary for government workers, the private sector, that it's a negative effect on the business houses, so they have a right to adjust their payments by taking away days from the workers? They what they've done. If they're working for $450 a week,
but if
they've kept them there by adjusting the days downwards. They kept them at the same $450 per week.
But if that is what you have to do over against going out of business, then that is the better way to go. If it means going out of business if you don't make any change.
I've never listened. You're going to the extreme with that. I'm not buying that from you.
A lot of businesses are going out there.
I may not have studied commerce, but I'm telling you something that is wrong, that's unscrupulous.
No,
because these people are also engaged in price gouging. Even government give reliefs, tax breaks to them, they still go and engage in price gouging.
Again.
So the evidence is there that they're unscrupulous.
Again, the unscrupulousness is on the government path. Because it's not on the business part. The unscrupulousness is on the government. That is why businesses have to take certain measures to stay afloat, because a lot of them is going out of business. What I am saying is this: what the government should do, instead of doing this thing, raise the minimum wage, what the government should do is increase the purchasing power of the dollar. That is what helps everybody, especially the poor. Increase the purchasing power of the dollar. Increasing minimum wage and that starts off is counterproductive because it is unbiblical and it is unscrupulous. Increasing the purchasing power of the dollar is the way government should go to help the poor.
And how do we do that, Gregory?
You're right. I've been saying this continually over and over again. One, you start by taking away all the government protectionism of agents. And thereby, by doing that, anybody could bring in anything and sell whatever, and therefore create more competition.
With no regulations?
In the economy. Hello?
Without any form of regulation, no regulation at all? Is it free for all? Is it free market?
No, the free market provides its own regulation through competition. And because of that, what I'm saying is that if more and more people are able to bring in whatever and sell whatever without being hampered by the protectionism that government have given to agents, you will be creating more and more competition in the economy, which will bring down the cost of living more and more and increase the purchasing power of the dollar. Also, if you add to that, continually decreasing taxes, including at the very least having a tax-free government fee, free ports, the ports that are free of government taxes and government fees, that it would even add more benefit in helping the poor. Therefore, by doing that, you increase the purchasing power of the dollar. So, for example, what $700 buy now today, in that context I'm talking about, you could buy such with even $200.
We're at the bottom of the hour, and we have to pause for another break from our sponsors. I'm not cutting you off, but
but quickly let me say, I'm very disgusted over what I'm hearing concerning the Reginald Thomas issue, and if what I'm heard, the government ought to be ashamed of how they're handling this Reginald Francis issue. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We're now pause for a few comments from sponsors.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Flow customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
Ready to save while you build? Now you can at Builders Paradise. Yes, shoppers, build up your Value Club points at Builders Paradise. That's right, Value Club members and shoppers, your favorite frequent buyer club is now available at the home of hardware and more. Whether you're laying tiles, painting walls, replacing doors, upgrading windows, or fixing up your home, every purchase at Builders Paradise now earns you Value Club points. Enjoy exclusive benefits like discounts on thousands of items, special savings for seniors, instant deals, quarterly rebates, plus an extra up to 2% off every quarter. Shop more, save more, earn more, only at Builders Paradise. Don't miss out. Start building your rewards today with Value Club at Builders Paradise, because every bolt, board, and brush brings you closer to bigger, better savings. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, live and in living color, we go straight to the phone lines. Go to the caller, live on voices. Okay, misunderstood. All right, was been told to stand by a misinterpret that, so we're back. Now, regarding the issue with Mr. Reginald Francis, I don't have all the details at my disposal, but about 2 years ago, we had a conversation. He explained to me what I think was explained on the Mauritius show. I saw a clip of it this morning. I am really surprised that that's still ongoing. So perhaps when I'm armed with the details once again, I can get into that discussion. What I understood then, it was an injustice and a betrayal for all the hard work that a national did by extending his expertise, his equipment, from working at the quarry to bring those rocks to, get from the quarry, you're risking your life using equipment. And then the deal that he got. And then having established himself down at the New Guinea area, he was more or less being muzzled or threatened. Well, if you keep pressing us for the payments that are duly owed to you, we will take that property from you down there. Now, I know we had discussed at the time he was trying to create a deep water harbor, and where ships could come in down there, trying to create what was like a tramway we saw in the USVI to take folks up to the fortress, Brimstone Hill. So whereas a former prime minister was talking about putting a deep water harbor down at Dateby on the Atlantic side, Reg's idea was to create a deep water harbor there. And so cruise ships will be able to berth there and then have easy access by what he would put in place up straight to Brimstone Hill. I thought that was laudable, I thought that was visionary, etc. But he was stymied by the fact that his funds were being held by the government. He needed his money to invest. Whereas other people come into our country, pockets empty, and can lobby the government and our national bank to give them our funds to invest in this country to the point that they can take monies from that particular loan and pay off the debt in other countries. That's asinine, that's a sellout. When you compare to this young man making an invaluable contribution to the development of the country, his equipment, his expertise, etc., he's owed. He's owed. Other entities come in and they paid off even up front. And then for what he established down in New Guinea that we're very proud of, that's now been under threat because he's demanding his due payments. Can't be right. As I said, he and I had this discussion over 2 years ago. So when I saw that it came up recently, I really, really was surprised that that's ongoing. That's actually stymieing the development of the country because that's what is built down there, that boatyard, that docking facility. It didn't have a custom unit. That was not there before. The harbor in Sandy Point, the Fig Tree, that was closed about 1996. And so you've created now where there's a custom unit in that area and one at the police station in Sandy Point. You don't have to come to Bass here. We speak about the borders being porous and people are able to smuggle in. You have a unit there that we can monitor. And he created that. Rather than being encouraged as a national and being applauded and given the resources that he needs to further develop the country, even to investing in our tourism stock. You hold him at ransom. You're holding him at ransom. If you pressure us for the money that we owe you, duly owed to you, we're going to run it from New Guinea. You understand? So, you got to make it make sense. Got to make it make sense. And this is encouraging other people who want to invest. I have had a discussion with a senior nurse, retired. And she said to me, one of the issues is that we have to keep importing the Cuban nurses and the Filipinos because local people are not coming. Maybe they're not encouraged. Years ago, we examined the whole thing about brain drain, where younger people felt that their talents, they were better appreciated overseas. You have the discussion of the government investing in our students, sending them off to study, and when they will come back, there will be a period where they contribute to, give back to the country. Some people stayed out. The fellow were being better appreciated, better salaries. So you have to look at that. You have to look at that. People must feel appreciated for the value they bring to the workplace, the expertise, whatever, in their home country. And so the migration, and it's two-way, we migrate out and people come in. And sometimes we have an issue with them. We stigmatize them over this nationality and that nationality. But the fact is, it's a service that's needed. But first, you must be able to honor your own people, their contribution, encourage them in their nation-building efforts. It's sad. As I said, when Mr. Francis explained it to me, I really could not believe it. And it was in confidence because he was hurting and he was speaking out. 2 years after, it's gone to the point where he's gone public with it. And I don't blame him. And people are incensed by this thing. A lot of things are happening that we are unaware of. But it needs to be rectified. Whomever have the means to address it, it needs to be rectified. Apologies need to be made. And so we can move on. Because those entities who come in here and are given keys to the treasury, so to speak, and then sometimes they don't really make the contribution, they're gone again. They sell out to another entity, like was the case in St. Martin. They come in the country, they get all the concessions, they operate for 10 years, and then they change ownership, and then a next tax break is So it's a game. They play the game. It's exploiting the region, and some leaders who wants to be able to claim that they brought industry, they brought jobs, they sell out. I don't want to revisit the marriage situation, but that was a major sellout, to the point that I would say that a country and a party that grew out of the back of the labor union, you could not have a union established in the Marriott. That was part of the conditions, that you couldn't have any labor or any union in the hotel. So whatever was done to you, you didn't have any redress. You would go downtown to the sham Department of Labor and nothing at all, because the conditions were, we didn't want any union in our hotel. And so you got this and you got that for yourself, and even though Stefan was pissed with the arrangements, ticked off with the arrangements, because they did not reflect the best interests for the people of the country. And so when you look at that now, when you compare what's happening to Reginald Francis, is it part of a psychosis? Is it part of what we do to our people? What happened to your national pride? What happened to your sense of national pride? We wave the flag and we sing and dance and we carry on when the cameras are on. And then shady deals are made where you benefit personally, but at the detriment of the people and the country. Once again, I'm sorry with that Mr. Francis is still experiencing this hardship, to the point where it can be said he's being blackmailed into accepting what they're offering, or else. Well, if he wants to demonstrate a match, I'm with him. I'm with him. Because it's an injustice that has to be addressed. And we can't say, well, it doesn't concern me. If you have any integrity and a sense of national pride, that should be an affront to you as a national. As I say today for me, tomorrow for you, etc., etc. Or however you want to phrase it. And it should not be viewed as political, but as an injustice that's affecting a national who, everybody in the region, we know his parents, their contribution to the development of the country. And he didn't migrate and go out there and say, let me live out here because this and that and that. He diligently built an industry and worked at the quarry over there. I mean, he gave me some details which I don't recall right now from the top of my head. He said, look what I did. I did that, I did that, I did that. And in return, you're being shafted? Can't be right. Can't be right. The lines are open if you want to call it away. I just got on my soapbox for a minute because it's one of the things. We take it downtown once again and give Caesar his due, and we'll come back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Ready to save while you build? Now you can at Builders Paradise. Yes, shoppers, build up your Value Club points at Builders Paradise. That's right, Value Club members and shoppers, your favorite frequent buyer club is now available at the home of hardware and more. Whether you're laying tiles, painting walls, replacing doors, upgrading windows, or fixing up your home, every purchase at Builders Paradise now earns you Value Club points. Enjoy exclusive benefits like discounts on thousands of items, special savings for seniors, instant deals, quarterly rebates, plus an extra up to 2% off every quarter. Shop more, save more, and more only at Builders Paradise. Don't miss out. Start building your rewards today with Value Club at Builders Paradise, because every bolt, board, and brush brings you closer to bigger, better savings. Terms and conditions apply.
Flow customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 # or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
As 11:46. You're listening to today's presentation of Voices. We got about a few minutes to go still, and the lines are open if you want to call and win any topic. We covered today my experience at JNF. We spoke about the issue that's brewing off the coast of Venezuela. We had a call from Jam Down, very incensed about the issue with Mr. Reg Francis, I keep saying Thomas. And, those are the topics of the day. We had the lady who called in reference to that too, and the land issue on the south side of Nevis, where there was a particular piece of legislation passed recently that more or less gave the government license to acquire any piece of land. It used to be called eminent domain. I think that's still at play. And it sounds good in terms of trying to develop the country. But here's what. Let's go to the phone lines. Go to caller. You live on Voices.
Socrates, it's me again.
Yes, sir.
You all should try and, you could try and see if you could get him on your program for an interview.
I can do that.
I mean, hello?
I can do that. We can do that.
Yes. Try to see if you could get him on, and there are other people who are just here on the things spoken of them on the talk shows, and I just wonder myself, well, how come you are inviting these people on the talk show? Because it'd be good to get them on, but definitely Reginald Francis would be good, because, like I say, if what I'm hearing is true, a hell of a big shame on the government, because I can understand it. The man is a local man and wants to do all sorts of good for the country. How you going to be threatening him that if he takes certain legal actions against you, which he is entitled to, if what I'm hearing is true? I mean, how you going to threaten him that you're going to take away his land and them sort of stuff? I mean, that's not encouraging for any investor. Look, people got to realize, what you do to one investors, others will be looking and listening, because they're saying that if you could do that to he or she, you could do it to me as well. And these things disencourage investors from both local and foreign to be investing in your country. Because what you could do to one, you could do to two. Government also need to look at the bigger picture. So see if you really and truly see if you could get in. But I'm very surprised. Maybe I haven't heard it, but it doesn't appear to me that WinFM has even gone to any of the media, but especially WinFM has not even gone to interview him for at least a news piece.
Sometimes when things hit the street, we react because we don't know. As I said, he and I spoke. We were at the circus, and he explained to me in great detail what he was going through. It wasn't that we had a discussion that he wanted brought on the radio. Whatever has happened since then, and he was under threat because he was demanding payments due to him. And he spoke about the many years he'd been waiting, and he called, he said, Timothy owes me. This owes me, now it's gone into the current administration.
Yes.
So
Yes, but
it wasn't a discussion, that he told me and I thought is not newsworthy or whatever. We were having a private conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whatever the reason he went on Mauritius show, I don't know what has transpired since then. So we are not adverse to reaching out to these persons and the stories and bringing it to the public. We're not averse to that.
Yeah, but do it. Because winnfm know of this, because this has been discussed on Island Tiana.
Okay.
This has been discussed on Island Tiana, and in Cartensia read out a piece concerning this issue. So winnfm know of this, fully well know of this. Why they have not acted on it is
I don't know if they have not. I don't know for a fact whether they have done so, whether he has not responded, we don't know. But your suggestion your suggestion is well taken on board, and I think the management can do so. We will do so.
Because the mere fact that he went on and DJ Maui show shows me that he's willing to go and programs.
Yes.
Anyhow, see what you could do from you and Socrates in trying to.
I have his number. We can share a conversation and take it from there.
Yes, cool.
Much appreciated. Gregory, we have another caller. Thanks for holding. You're live on Voices.
Yes, good morning to you guys, man. How are you guys doing today?
Burl, how are we doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, Socrates, man.
Yes, sir.
I've been just trying to come on these airwaves and put my 2 pence in with this bill that was passed 2 weeks ago.
Always valued.
And yeah, thanks, man. And I just want to know, if these politicians are going to keep going forward with this situation because of the amount of kickback we've been having and the amount of, it's very, very appalling, man, if these guys go forward with this stuff. Because it's been a big outcry as far as I can see. One of the biggest outcry I've ever seen in any national issues on the ground. And the lawyers now, there is some part of the Constitution that needs to be interpreted with this situation because I'm seeing some other stuff developing as well. The powers may be on Nevis, and the powers certain powers that's given to Nevis, the NIA government, in terms of the legalities. Certain points in the Constitution has been referenced as well because Nevis has their own government and they got certain autonomy over their affairs. They got autonomy over certain controls of their lands and the development of their lands and such things like that.
Yes.
And we have to get the persons that know about the Constitution, we got to get them to come in these radio stations and explain to the public so the public can get the education. We are lacking the education.
The Nevis
because if
Island Assembly, there, as I said, they have autonomy over what happens there. There's a federal government who won't supersede what happens in Nevis. So it's the Nevis Island administration that is de facto in control of the affairs of Nevis. Right? And I heard the leader of the opposition making some concerns known about that particular bit of legislation and the threat that it poses to the landowners in Nevis, especially on the southern side of the island. She was in the public space making her objections known and accusing the Premier of Nevis of selling up the people, etc., etc., etc. Now she's better versed into what the issue is, but she came to the public and she spoke about it. So sometimes when you find some piece of legislation that's passed and you don't know the backstory behind that, it takes, like in her case, for her to come and explain to the public the ramifications. to the people of
so what
Nevis.
So I was listening to a program Saturday, right? Daly and his friends over there on Nevis, 2020 Vision Radio, Saturday. And it appears to me, right, that some kind of some type of communication has to happen between the premier and the prime minister, between the NIA and the federal government. That communication or that part of the Constitution, these guys cannot just move like this and break the Constitution. There must be some type of vote that maybe.
It is a case of breaking the Constitution because you elect your government to represent you at all levels. They may bring policies that you may not like. You're speaking about breaking the Constitution and you need somebody to come and explain the Constitution. It may not be a constitutional matter.
Yes. But no matter what, the Nevis people are kicking back because we're looking at a mirror of what happened over on the peninsula, and we're afraid that the exact same thing may happen with these lands on the south side of Nevis. And I'm really calling on the Prime Minister and the Premier. Why can't we get them both in the studio at the same time? We need to put the pressure on them, right? And my thing is, right, we cannot develop any industry locally. Now the Gregory was talking about that specific person that went on DJ Marisha's show. That's a local that was trying to develop like a port area or something, New Guinea.
Yep.
Yeah, and the guy's getting kicked back, and he's going to ATLL, the government, and they're threatening to do certain things to him, like taking back, evicting him off of some lands that he maybe own already, or his investment that he already done made so far.
I think they tried to make a deal with him in lieu of the payment that they owed him to allow him to operate there. But it's still not compensatory. Okay. That's the issue. And so, rather than pay him, the battle just saying, you know what, get off the land.
Yeah. And some of these things got to be made more clear to the citizens because we're rapidly approaching an election and persons has to be clear in terms of, their selection for parliamentarians going forward, representatives. But let me just say something real quickly before I go. One more thing, possibly.
Go ahead.
As the Prime Minister, right, is talking about investing in the children, right, and pushing that Aspire program, right. We are talking about investing in our children, where our children can, be a part of the development of the country and to get some type of, benefits in terms of like maybe some dividends and stuff like that, monetary benefits. But here we are, right? We are releasing our lands to these foreigners, but we are not concentrating on having the kids really invest into whatever industry or whatever development is happening underground. If, for instance, if we bring a big project, why can't we have the kids now get the shares in these projects that's coming, rather than selling out the land totally to foreigners all the time? If we keep selling out the land and we keep down in this vein that we're going down, that means our children will not be beneficiaries like how they're really trying to portray to us. Trust me, it's like a sham. It's like a sham. If you're so interested in our children, man, I mean, if we're gonna go like this, if we're gonna continue like this, I'm not seeing them passing no legislation.
Let me ask a question, Bert. Let me ask a question. Do you recall some years ago there was some young folks in division, running on the beach, and a white lady tried to stop them, and she actually laid down.
Yeah. That was down in my area in Cotton Ground.
I sang about that.
That was down in
I was
my
saying
area.
sense.
That was
I
down
sang
in my
about
area,
that.
Cotton Ground Beach area.
You know what happened to that? We were saying deported, etc., but she was a wife of, I won't say diplomat, but some businessman in Nevis. And so the powers that be say, you understand? You have children running on the beach, your own beach in Nevis, and this white lady got offended to the point she lay across the path where they was running.
Yes, I remember that vividly.
And when the people showed their outrage, right, because her husband was connected to some project in Nevis, the powers that be gloss over it. And I'm saying, if I was running, she would have been injured.
Yeah.
That's an
Some
affront
people
to
don't
my
take that
national
stuff
sense of
lightly.
national pride.
Yeah,
But
so
some
Socrates,
people,
now,
according to what they're investing and whose pockets they're lining, allow these things to happen. So therein lies the answer as to why these
So this
things
is what
are
I'm
allowed
saying.
to continue. We are at the end of today's presentation of Voices. You happen to be the last caller. I want to thank you for your contribution. Keep the fire, keep your passion going, and perhaps that may result in changes of the policies that our elected leaders are putting on the people, okay? I want to thank all our
thanks a lot, man.
callers.
Keep the fire blazing. Yeah, thanks.
All right. I want to thank all our callers, our viewers, and all the folks who made this show possible, our sponsors, and everybody. And we wish you, of course, a most productive, safe week. Today is Monday, the 25th day of August. I wish that the weather is fair. We don't have any threats from the elements. And of course, cruise ships in port tomorrow. So let the band play on. Let's enjoy our paradise in this zone of peace until it's not that. Okay. So peace, love, and much love tomorrow.
Found the sound 99.9.
Ready to